Okie dokie, good evening everybody. Welcome back to Gluten Free and Celiac Mixing with Lisa. It is time for us to do our second and final cook in our brand new TM7. We are making dinner. So the exciting thing about this recipe is that it is exclusive to the TM7. It uses the new open cooking mode, and I'm very excited to see how that pans out. This recipe is brand new as well. It's designed for open cooking only. So I think you'll find this one is exclusive to the 7, but I'm sure you could replicate a very similar result in your older machines. Do not worry. But the fun of having the 7 is to test out some of the new features. So let us go ahead and do that together. Hopefully some of you were also here earlier this afternoon. I know Kalia was. Hi Megan, hi Shirley. I know that some of you were here when we made the steamed chocolate pudding, steamed chocolate flan cake. So we're going to unveil that one shortly, but let's get straight into cooking our beautiful chicken and mushroom rice. Now, I don't eat mushrooms. I don't like them very much. So I've actually swapped the mushrooms in my recipe to onion. So let's go ahead and start cooking and we'll talk through as we go. First thing we're going to do is, of course, hit start. And that brings us straight into the recipe, and it will give us all of our guided cooking steps. Now, fabulous question I had earlier. Hi Diane, hi Kathy. I asked on the earlier video was, can you manually cook in the TM7? Absolutely. For anyone who's used to manually cooking out of cookbooks or the recipe community or any recipe online, I know we have lots of Skinny Mixers fans here. For example, when they're telling you to what time, speed and temperature to set, you can absolutely do that. You just click manual cooking and those dials come up. So everything that you can do now, you can do in your 7 and more. So that's a good question. Let's get into our cooking. So the first thing we're going to be popping in is our garlic cloves. It says 1, but we measure garlic with our hearts, and I'm putting in 2. So we'll tick that off. Next up is 150 to 180 grams of capsicum. I'm using a green capsicum. I'm not actually sure what the weight of what I've got is, but I'm throwing it all in, so we'll see what it lands on. So 161. So that should auto tick off, or do we have to go a little bit more for the automatic behavior? We're learning as we go. Right, so because I haven't gone up to the maximum limit, it's not auto ticking off because it still thinks there's a chance I might put more in. So if you go all the way to 180, that little green line will appear and it will tick that step off as we saw earlier. So you will see that that will happen with some other steps as we go. But because I've added a little bit less, I need to manually tick it. And 20 grams of olive oil. So you'll see it now. So if I go for 20 grams, as I get to 20, you'll see that step run through. Hi, Leah. Hi, Brooke, Tiffany, Kelly, Sharon. Lots of people here. Fantastic. Everyone's excited about the 7. So 20 grams. You can see that going up as I go. And there. Now, watch the step here. See the green screen? The line's automatically running down and it's going to auto tick off. So that's a really cool feature. And we get a little ding when we get to that step. All right, so now actually we're going to freeball a little bit because I know that what's coming up is we're sauteing this step. The mushrooms haven't been added for the saute because you probably wouldn't want them to be so soft. But because I'm swapping mushrooms to onion, I'm actually going to add them in now, I think. So let me just have a look. Yeah, the mushrooms are getting added much later so that they're a little bit fresher and a little bit bitier, I imagine. I don't like mushrooms. I'm switching mushrooms to onion. So I'm going to add it now. So I've just finally chopped my onion. I don't really know how much it is, but it's going to be this much onion. I think it was about 140 grams, so similar to what the mushrooms were. So I've added them in now. So you can see that you can still freeball, you can still adjust, you can still manually cook, no problem. Let's saute that. So lid goes on. It automatically detects the lid's on. Time, temperature and speed is set. I just have to press play or actually press it properly. Now let's have a listen. Pretty soft, isn't it? The insulation definitely helps a little bit with the quietness. Let me, yeah, I know you can't see the screen. I'm sorry. It's so hard to get. So let me just see if I can fix that. I don't think I can. I'll try and move the camera. Everyone close your eyes so you don't get seasick. Okay, is that better? I know it's backwards. I can't do anything about that. The Facebook Live features don't allow you to adjust the camera, flip it to mirror anymore. It used to, but for some reason you can't. I'm going to have to crouch down. You're probably going to get a really nice view down my top. Is that better? No, you still can't see the screen? All right. Let's have a little look at the screen together. Close your eyes so you don't get seasick. Okay, is that better? How does that look? I can put the camera around this way and it's not backwards either, but I can't see anyone's comments, so I won't know what you're asking me. But let me just see if I can prop the camera up for you. Okay, guys, how's that? Let me know what you think about that. Is that a better view so that you can see what's happening? Better. Okay, Diane says it's better. Kathy says a bit better, but that might have been before I moved it. Hi, Anne. Hi, Ivania. Better. Brooke says better. Okay, so can we all see the screen? The saute step is happening over here. So the time, temperature, and speed were already preset. We're using, Kathy says much better. Excellent. We're using the high heat mode here, guys. So can you hear that sizzle? And you can see up here, it says browning. I also really like, if you have a look here, the time is slowly running down. So it's a 5-minute cook. And you can see we're probably now because the time's up there. We're halfway. So it's actually showing you that. Along the side here, you're able to see what step we're up to and how many we have to go. So there are 10 steps in total. We know we're on step 2, but you've got that little visual view of the little dot here. You can also still look ahead as you're used to doing, so your preview. So if you were cooking at home, you wouldn't have pre-cut all of your recipes. You wouldn't have pre-cut all of your ingredients for each step. So you would look ahead, you would say, okay, I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and use that 5 minutes to chop my thigh up. You could switch that to breast if you wanted. So you can be scrolling ahead, see what's coming up, getting all of your ingredients prepped, pull your your mushrooms, your tomatoes, get your water, your paprika, pull everything out. You can also see along the side on the right here, now that I've gone ahead, I've got that little eye showing me what I'm looking at and how far through the recipe I'm peeping at. You can also bring your scales up while you're cooking. Now, you'll know if you've got a 6, it doesn't work reliably if you're at a high speed because there might be some movement in the bowl and that would change the scales. But you can see the scales, you can bring them up as you go. Now, I'm guessing if I tap on that, yeah, look at that. So that button has taken me straight back to the step that I'm currently at. I'll come back around so that you guys can see me, but I can't see your comments. I can't see who's here. I can't see questions, and I can't see the camera to know if I'm even in the frame. So forgive me if I'm not. I'm hoping you can see me. You can tell me if you can see me or not, but I can't actually see your comments until I come back around. So we've got 50 seconds left. And the next step will be adding in our chicken. So I have chopped up, I think the view might have been better on this side. Let me just have a look. So there's my chicken thigh that I've finally chopped, 2 to 3 centimeters, I think it is. So I've got my chicken ready. I'll just grab a spoon to knock all of that in. And I'll show you these veggies. So we're sauteing the vegetables. If you've just joined us, it's the onion, capsicum, olive oil and garlic that are chopped and sauteing, and I'll show you all of that in 12 seconds. Also, for those who haven't been on the earlier video, you can lift the lid at speeds less than 2 and it will automatically pause and restart. All right, done. So, there's our veggies that we've sauteed. Okay, so there is onion in there. As I've explained, I'm using onion instead of mushrooms because I don't like mushrooms, and so I decided to add them in earlier to saute. So that's done. So now we're going to add in our chicken. Okay, so our chicken is in. And we are going to, I've added extra chicken, as you can see. We're going to saute again. All right, so sauteing is happening. I'll just come around and see if there are any questions. Looks quite a bit different, Juliet says. Diane says it's great view now. It's not backwards. Yes, I don't know why Facebook won't let me reverse the camera anymore. Let me show you the home screen now that you guys have a better view. So if I just press the arrow here, takes me back to the front page. How gorgeous is that? Like the amount of information you have here on the screen, the pictures you can actually scroll through. So there are multiple images and there's usually a little video. Let's have a look at that. So just showing you some of the steps. They've used obviously yellow capsicum and green. I'm thinking I've probably cut my chicken a bit small looking at that, but anyway. So that's the videos that come up on the screen. You can, of course, tick through ingredients, preparation, tips and tricks. Remembering, guys, with the latest Cookie Do update, you can add notes now. So in this case, I might add a note saying switch the mushrooms to onion so that I remember for next time. Perhaps at the end, you'll find it a little too salty. You'd reduce the salt. You'd write that in. Those notes are just for you to see. You can also, of course, have your nutritional panel. So this dish is nice high protein, 23 grams per serve. There'll be a bit more protein in mine because I've added extra chicken. And then also recipes that they feel might be along a similar line to inspire you. So I love the inspiration that you get. Look, that looks beautiful. Bacon and cabbage risotto. So I actually think you can probably look at recipes while you're cooking too. So there you go. There's the bacon and cabbage risotto. So you can have a look right through that recipe, what to do. Back to the overview, you can bookmark it. Let's see what the 3 little dots give us. So we can also add that to our week. So you can be getting inspiration while you're cooking. To jump back into the recipe that we're in, guys, we're just going to tap up the top here and we're straight back to our recipe. Let me just have a look what questions I'm missing. Sorry, that's what happens when I touch the phone, I knock it over. Sorry, guys. I've propped it up using bowl and a container. It's not working very well. There we go. All right, let me just see what questions I've got. What temperature does it go up to? So Sky's asked, what's the temperature of the TM7? It's 160 degrees. Linda's just jumped on. She wants to know what we're cooking. Well, Linda, I'm hoping you've probably seen that now that I've shown you the full recipe. Let me see if I can get back to that from here. No, so I have to go back to the home page. So this is the recipe that we're cooking. So this is our chicken and mushroom rice. But no mushrooms because gross. Do you have to line the lid up to a specific spot? Yes, Sarah, that's an amazing question. And you'll notice that I'm still getting the hang of that. Because of the magnetic latch, it does need to be lined up. I'll just also show you, if you haven't seen it, that because I'm at a low speed, I can lift the lid during the cook and it automatically pauses. And as soon as the lid is re-engaged, it goes straight back to cooking. So I really like that. I'll just stop talking for a second so you can listen. We're on the saute mode, which is our high heat. Have a listen. It's so quiet, it's almost silent. How cool is that? Can you cook without Cookie Do? Sky, absolutely, you can definitely cook without Cookie Do. Let me show you how that works. So we'll just go ahead and click on our modes and all of your modes pop up here, including manual mode. So if you're wanting... Oh, I can't engage it while I'm cooking, sorry. If you're wanting to cook manually, you just click manual mode and your time, temperature and speed will come up on the screen just how you're used to seeing them. So definitely you can cook. Claire says it's a whole lot easier to find recipes. Yes, it's way easier to navigate with that 10-inch screen. Kelly's asking, is there an upgrade from the 6 to the 7? Great question, Kelly. At the moment, there is not. I wasn't around as a consultant when the 6 was launched, but I believe it was around 4 years from what I'm told, from when the TM5 was offered to upgrade to the TM6. So quite a while for the current model to be upgraded to the newest model. So Kelly, I don't want to give you the wrong info, but I also wouldn't hold your breath. At the moment, the only upgrade option is from the 31 or the 5 to the TM6. There is no upgrade to the 7 currently available. Juliet has asked a good question. Let me put the phone back down so that you guys can see. All right, hopefully you can see okay. Juliet's question was, is this recipe only for the TM7? The answer is yes. It's exclusive to the TM7 because this recipe is using the open cooking mode, and that's obviously not an option on the other models. So let me just show you. You can see this is going to be a delicious meal full of lots of goodness. We've got our capsicum, our onion, our garlic, and our chicken all sauteed. I'm going to give that a little stir. So your nice deep spatula here gets everything, which is awesome. I'm just curious how the bottom, I'm fogging up. I'm curious about the bottom of the bowl. I can't see any burning there, which is nice. So we've done 2 high heat modes. Let's go ahead and pop the rest of our ingredients in. I apologize if you can't see me. I've turned the camera around so you can see the screen. Do you guys see that light as well? Not hot, no bowl. As soon as the bulb goes back on, it recognises straight away that it's hot. So our mushrooms, we're going to skip that because I've obviously added the onion already. 100 grams of tinned tomatoes. So if you've just jumped on, watch how that automatically ticks off as we get up to 100. There we go. So it's automatically tipping off. 450 grams of water. It resets the scales automatically. I don't have to touch anything. They're back to 0. So let's get up to 450. There we go, 450. And again, that automatically ticks off. We get our little ding, ding. All right, in goes our paprika. So that's optional. You don't have to add that, but I'm going to add a teaspoon of paprika. There we go. Next up is a heaped teaspoon of homemade chicken stock. Okay, in goes that, so we'll tick them off. Next we've got some salt, teaspoon of salt and some pepper. I'm using my salts holding my phone up, so let me just get some more salt out. So it's actually nearly empty, and I reckon that's probably about a teaspoon, so we'll just wing that one. Teaspoon of salt and some black pepper. So you see here, I can tick off the salt if I want. You don't have to, you can still press next. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, so I'm freshly cracking that. So let's see. All right, I reckon that's enough. And next, so 7 minutes at 120 degrees with the lid on. Done. All right, now while that's cooking, while that's cooking, I'm going to show you guys the flan that we made earlier, but first I'll just come around and make sure that I haven't missed any questions. All right, the next question was from Claire. Are all the accessories going to be different? Yes, they are. The cutter and the spiralizer, etc., doesn't fit because of the new design with the lock, the no locking arms. So yes, you'll need accessories. Sarah says, is the jug bigger? No, it is not. Because it's got the insulated bowl set up, it might physically look a little bit bigger, but the capacity is the same. Juliet says it looks like a bigger base. Just remember, guys, you're looking up on a really bad angle. You're looking from down here up. So it does look a lot bigger. I've got some photos that I took earlier of the 7 next to, you can see my blacks out the back there. I took a photo of the 7 next to the black. So I'll post that for you shortly. I think it's just the bad angle. It's a bit like, you know, when you get a double chin, when you're filming yourself upwards, it's not flattering. But I think she's actually very pretty. I believe the base is a little bit longer this way, but the width and the bench space that it takes up, it feels a lot nicer to me. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Andrew, Christy, Helen. Juliet didn't get her hands on a spiralizer. So, Juliet, if you've got a 6 and you want a spiralizer, they're still available. If you're buying a 7, they're not out yet. Sky, the capacity of the jug is the same as the TM6, 2.2 litres, but the Varoma on top capacity is much, much greater. I'm going to flip the camera around for a minute. Hi. And I'm going to just pop you back up where I normally have you because I want to show you guys the flan that we made earlier. And we're only just watching this cook anyway. That's, you know, nothing too exciting happening and you don't really need to see the screen. Yeah, Claire's just answering that question. You can still buy the spiralizer. So parts and repairs for the older models are guaranteed for 6 years. Sorry, 6. I'm talking about TM6. 10 years. 10 years. 10 years post the last manufacture date. So we're talking 2035. So you can definitely still buy the cutter and the spiralizer if you've got the 6. But if you've got a 7, you'll want to wait until the new cutter and spiralizer are released, which will be designed for this machine. Sky, it has a built-in glider board, yes. So have a look. Okay. Not really moving, but if I lift it at the front and slide, it moves. So it's built in, okay? So you don't need to purchase a glider board. Let's have a look at this flan that we made earlier, and I can also show you the Varoma if you didn't get to see my live unboxing. Now, I really don't know what to expect because I've never made a flan before, and I haven't opened it. I saved it for you guys. So I'll just show you, if you don't already know, this applies to the older models as well. Your lid from your Varoma becomes your drip tray. So you take the lid off, you tilt it, and you drip all the water back into the Varoma dish, which will drip through into the bowl. And then you quickly grab the Varoma dish off and you pop it over the lid. And that's going to catch all of that extra moisture. So this is the steamed chocolate flan cake. I don't know why it's got 4 words. Steamed chocolate flan cake that we made earlier. I haven't looked at it. So after we signed off from the video, if you were there with me, we had made a salted caramel. So we did that out the back in their TM6. We then made the chocolate layer for the flan, and then we made the light layer, and we layered that all. So the caramel sauce went in, then we put the chocolate layer on, and then we poured that liquid layer over the top. I ended up having a little bit more liquid than needed. I ended up tipping a little bit off because it was so full and I couldn't put the next step on, which was the baking paper and then the Glad wrap. So I've done the cook, so it was an hour and 15 minutes it steamed. I just love a recipe where the entire recipe is cooked in a Thermomix. So this was a steamed pudding. It didn't need to go in the oven. Perfect for somebody who has their kitchen being renoed or they're on the go, they're in a caravan or even tent. As long as you've got a PowerPoint, you can cook a meal, baby. So let's take a look. It's still quite warm. I need to unwrap it and flip it out onto a plate was the next step. So let's maybe pop that just to the side and I'll just try and unwrap it. It's quite hot, so I don't want to burn myself. Oh, it smells really good. I'm not very good at greasing tins. I usually fail quite a lot at that. So I'm really hoping that it's going to come out and just get rid of the rubbish. I've just taken off the Glad wrap and the baking paper. And there's quite a bit of moisture, but and it's hot. There's the flan that we made together earlier. Now, wish me luck. Asking for trouble, 100% asking for trouble, is flipping a cake out of a cake tin live on a Facebook video. But we're going to do it, okay? We're going to be okay if it fails. Let's get a plate. Okay. With so many people jumping on now, and I feel like this is going to be a mega fail. I'm just going to loosen it, okay? I'm going to loosen it with a spatula. And then we're going to pray that it comes out. All right, so while you're watching me get this cake out, we've got just over a minute left. our chicken, our capsicum, our onion, our garlic, olive oil, tomatoes, the herbs and the spices, everything is in there cooking out. And then we're going to be adding the rice and doing the open cooking. Sky says, have you owned a 31 or a 5? What's your fave out of them all? That's such a good question. You've got this. Yeah. Christy, you've got more faith than I do. Sky, I never owned a 31. So my first Thermomix was a TM5. I bought the TM5 the day Maddie's diagnosis with celiac disease was confirmed. And I loved my TM5. I used it every day. I was a big fan. When the TM6 came out, I couldn't afford it. I've just bought the 5. Like, it was okay. I didn't need it. I wanted it, but I didn't need it. But then COVID hit and my hours as an audiologist were reduced. And it was by this stage when I was really nailing gluten-free cooking. And I was having a lot of success, and I was sharing a lot of my success. Okay, ready? I was sharing a lot of my success on socials, and people were feeling really inspired. And so I decided that maybe I actually had something to contribute to the gluten-free community. I had the most incredible consultant, but she didn't have celiac disease. She wasn't catering to celiac disease. And I really felt like there was a gap in the market for somebody who wanted specific gluten-free help and wanted to nail gluten-free cooking. And yeah, I just felt like I had something to offer. So I joined to earn a TM6, and I barely earned it. I didn't just fly as a consultant from the start. I'm very lucky now that I've got nearly 12,000 followers, and I've had over 300 customers in the last 5 years. So it was a slow start, but I built it up to something I'm really proud of. To summarize, the TM6 is the one that I use and love. The jump from me from the 5 to the 6 was phenomenally. It was huge. It was a really big jump, and it had me using my Thermomix so much more. So please don't think I'm saying everybody needs a 7. I know the 7 is going to be amazing, and I know the future potential for the 7 is incredible. And if you want one, it would be my pleasure to help you get one. But I still think the 6 is incredible. I still have 3, so you can see 2 of them. Nope, you can't, of the angle. One's over there. I've still got 2 blacks and a white over there. I love my 6s. But the current bonus bundle, I don't know if I can go past it right now. Let's get this started before we unveil this, because I want to show you guys open cooking. So we've done the saute. So watch as I lift. Oh, sorry, you can't see because the camera's backwards. I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see the screen again. Close your eyes so you don't get seasick. Okay, how's that view, guys? Somebody just let me know that you can see. Hi, Diane. Can everybody see that okay? Hi, Anne-Marie, Helen, Bernadette, Jackie. Is that okay view for you guys of the screen? I know the bowl's in there as well, but I need something to hold the phone. Is that working? All good. Thank you, Christy. All right, so this is where open cooking mode's going to happen. So I just want to show you. See here, it's telling me to take the lid off. Okay? As soon as I lift the lid off, watch what happens. It automatically brings up the scales, and they're tared to 0. I can see it, can't read it. That's okay. Can you see the scales here though? We're at 0, we're ready to go. And it's now telling me to add the rice. So in goes 200 grams. I think I have about 230. It's just what I grabbed. I'm just going to use it. Let's see what that is. Yeah, so 240 grams. I've gone a little bit over, but that's totally fine. So we'll go ahead and press next. Mix well with the spatula. So let's give that a stir. Actually, I'll bring you guys up so you can have a look. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. How does that look? Hi, Jacinta. Hi, Chantel. Hi, Jackie. So we are cooking our very first TM7 dinner. We are making chicken with mushrooms, chicken and mushroom rice, this one's called. So on the screen here, we're going to press next because we've done that. And now we are open cooking. So let's hit play. And I'll give you guys a proper view. I'll hold the camera so that you can actually see the screen. So I think it was Claire said you can see it but can't read it. Can you read it now, Claire? So it's saying to cook without the lid for 25 minutes at 95 degrees at open cooking mode. So see that little image? That's the new design of the open cooking mode. You can see the times come up here. It's currently going. We can pause it if we want. Obviously, I can just hit play again. Yes, you can see the screen. Okay, so we are literally open cooking, guys. So let's have a look what's going on in the bowl. Look at that boiling. Now, cameraman Matt has just turned up, so I'm going to pass the phone to him so that you guys can see me and the Thermomix. Thank you, darling. Okay, so we're open cooking. Isn't that exciting? In the bowl, we've got some boiling action. I can stir, I can taste as I go. You'll want to do that because this is how you're going to get that perfect even cook on the rice. The rice, we don't want that all sticking on the bottom and burning. We want to give that a little stir as we go. So every 10 minutes it's saying give it a little stir. Let's pop our Thermi spatula over here. Now, can I get a view here? For those who've just jumped on, earlier today we made a steamed chocolate flan cake. We made it in our TM7. It is a TM7 exclusive recipe because we're using the bigger bundt tin which fits in the Varoma, which is bigger on the 7. I'm confident you could produce this in your older models though, so do not worry. If this looks good, you can make it too. We're going to go for an unveiling. Are we ready? Look at that! How cute are the layers? So it smells amazing too. You can smell the salted caramel right away, can't you, babe? The salted caramel, the chocolate layers. Oh, it's nice and soft. That is ready for dessert. Now, this one I believe you serve cold because it says to chill. There will be no chilling happening here. We are all hungry. We're all excited for flan. So let's grab the rest of the salted caramel sauce from earlier and pour that over and have a look at this finished flan. All right, so it's thickened up quite a lot because I just left it sitting there. So let me just stir that. So this is our salted caramel sauce. Here we go. What do we think? Has anybody got any thoughts on how that looks? Very decadent. What do we think, guys? Steamed chocolate pudding flan made in our TM7. Let's cut into it and have a look. Any comments? Any questions? I don't know if she's still there, but Chantal was on a minute ago. Our lovely Chantal, Paul's wife. So hello, Chantal from Matt too, if you're still here.
Can I watch this again later?
Yes, absolutely. So I will make sure these videos are published to the page. They will be available for 30 days. Facebook has a new policy on live videos, but I will endeavour to download them as well so I can repost them in the future. Any other questions before we cut into this baby?
No.
No? All right, let's do it. Okay, here we go. How does she look? How are those layers? Look at that. I think it needs a bit more caramel sauce. What do you reckon, guys? I feel like I probably poured way too much on the plate. Okay, ready? Slow-mo. All right, who wants a live tasting? I feel like I've done all the work. And even though we haven't had dinner, we're going to have dessert first. Let's give our dinner a stir. So come and have a look in the bowl here. So this is our open cooking mode, our chicken and mushroom rice. Oh, I can feel it thickening up. You can tell when you put your spoon in straight away. There's a lot more movement. There's a lot more, the rice starting to fill out and absorb some of that moisture. Beautiful. So we'll just give that a nice stir. And then we're going to taste this flan. Were there any questions? Have I missed any questions? I think the last questions that I got to were around, what was it, the capacity of the bowl also? I can't remember now. All right, are we ready to taste test this flan? Doesn't it look gorgeous? Look at those layers. Absolutely gorgeous. And I can tell that a lot of the salted caramel sauce has gone into that top layer because I can see the vanilla all through it. All right, here we go. So we've got a bit of both parts of the flan. Yum. It is rich, decadent. The fact that it was steamed has given it the most soft, buttery, melt in your mouth, fluffy consistency. Absolutely delicious, that is. So, rather than having you guys sit here and watch everything boil, or me eat the rest of this flan, I'm going to sign off now. I will take some videos of the live cooking, and I might jump back on live to show you the finished product, or I might just pop up a photo and a video. But thank you so much for joining me. We're making chicken and mushroom rice in our new TM7 with the open cooking mode. You can see that boiling away there. We've also made a steamed chocolate flan cake with salted caramel sauce. You can see the incredible layering in that cake there, and that's steamed on top in our brand new bigger capacity aroma. So we've had a lot of fun in the kitchen today. We have spoken a lot about the TM7, and of course us consultants are super excited because we get to play with them. But there are still 8 days left of TM6 sales. It is the best bundle ever. Over $1,000 worth of bonus extras with your TM6. Even more of a discount if you are trading up from an older model. In 8 days, the 2nd of June, the TM6 will not be available anymore. It will be gone forever. So please reach out if you want to chat about getting a TM6 on your bench, or in fact pre-ordering a 7. It has been so fun cooking with you today. Thank you for joining me as I play with my new TM7. I'm Lisa from Gluten Free and Celiac Mixing. I'll see you next time. Bye.